Gavin Newsom, if you're listening to this, you're a failure. Mayors are actually some of the most powerful people in the country.
I mean, I've got questions, sir. I don't find you to be a truth teller based on a long, long history of your lies. But seriously, who stops? Can you imagine if Ron DeSantis in the middle of responding, not in the middle of responding, in the middle of the hurricane devastating his state, swinging over to talk with the guys at Ruthless about like how it affected him?
When Charlie Kirk and Megyn Kelly target Gavin Newsom, it's not an invite, it's an ambush. California's gel-haired governor caught in a spotlight hotter than his press lights. Every flaw lit up, every excuse shredded. This wasn't debate. This was demolition. Newsom's polished image stripped to bare chaos.
Mayor, the building codes responsible mayor, the homeless, mayors are very, very powerful. So he was mayor of San Francisco. Would you let your son walk the streets of San Francisco unaccompanied at 1 a.m.? No, you wouldn't. I'm sorry. Your son can't walk the streets of the city that you were in charge of. You're a disgrace. Gavin Newsom, you just want political power. You have no guiding beliefs at all. Just leave the Democrat Party. That's my advice to him. If you really want to be in elected office that bad, just leave the Democrat Party and just go run as like a moderate Republican and just have some sort of like QR
Before
code
we start, smash that like button. Newsom could be drowning in his own policies and still check his reflection in the floodwater. Charlie and Megyn didn't roast him, they slow-cooked him over the fire of his own record. California, once America's crown jewel, now runs like a survival reality show nobody signed up for.
Smart to start this. And the reason he's smart to start it is because he has no muscles, Emily. None. He's a sinewy little weakling when it comes to arguing any of these issues, especially cultural issues, because he, like all liberals, has never had to do it. So now he's trying to get his training, which is smart on his part, and it would be smart on the part of conservatives to say no, because they declined to help him get in shape before the big bout. We're supposed to be helping Rocky, not...
Charlie swung like a wrecking crew, tearing down the Hollywood-groomed facade to reveal duct tape politics. The man who vowed to fix homelessness turned the state into an open-air sleeping bag expo. San Francisco's new tourism pitch, Golden Gate by day, human obstacle course by night.
Newsom. The hell?
Oh, no,
the hell is... who's a better actor? I'm not sure. They're both up for an award.
I was watching him on MSNBC. He's got a new hand motion. I was going to text him. It's this. It's got usually it's kind of this, and then he's doing this. He was doing this thing on MSNBC. He's doing this whole thing. Look, he is the fakest person I think I've ever met in my entire life.
Megyn sharpened the blade, pointing out how Newsom sells progress while Californians pack U-Hauls in record numbers. Population decline isn't just a stat, it's the state's top export. People are fleeing like the place is on fire, which thanks to his environmental brilliance it usually is.
With me, I'm not the governor of this state. Yeah. His own governor has actually decided to moderate on the position, at least in rhetoric. We'll see if it comes in action. And I think it's very interesting that at this moment where the Democrats are kind of in the wilderness, they're looking for their own political leader, seems as if Governor Newsom wants to try to position him as the moderate. I think he's been a total failure as governor. We could talk about that if you'd like. But at the very least, from a rhetorical standpoint, he's starting to say things that would make the Democrat Party more palatable to the rest of the country.
What's the backstory on this podcast? How did you get involved in this?
I got a phone call from Governor Newsom 2 weeks ago.
Himself. He called himself.
That's right, yeah. Connected through Kimberly Guilfoyle. Obviously, they have a shared past, yeah.
That's who connected you two?
Well,
Kimberly Guilfoyle?
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. His ex-wife, of course.
Yeah, so shared past. And I know KG, as we call her, who's now going to be the ambassador to Greece.
Charlie laughed at the green energy preacher whose power grid collapses every summer. Rolling blackouts in the fifth largest economy, not leadership, just medieval cosplay with designer hair gel.
The person who's in the news this week as an obvious contender for the nomination is Gavin Newsom, who went on Sean Ryan's podcast and absolutely dissembled over the question of transition procedures and surgeries on minors as young as 8. Listen to this.
What about for your values? I mean, is 8 years old too young?
Yeah, I mean, look, I now that I have a 9-year-old, just became 9.
Megyn lit into his lockdown-era Californians trapped indoors while Newsom dined like royalty. His sacrifice switching from sparkling to still water. Meanwhile, small businesses dropped like flies in an economic purge.
Gavin Newsom, who spent the weekend trying to avoid responsibility as the fires were still burning by dropping by the Pod Save America podcast for an attempt to clean up his own image.
I want to know the answers. So I'm the governor of California. I want to know the answer. I've got that question. I can't tell you about how many people.
Charlie hit the budget a monster that eats tax dollars and spits out fewer services than a broken vending machine. Surplus to deficit in record time. Megyn followed with failing schools turned into overpriced daycares. Every policy focus group fluff rolled out statewide.
That's very dangerous, like incredibly dangerous. Like he's the type of person that could just like stare like, oh yeah, I voted for Trump, and just like pass a lie detector test. That is very, very dangerous. You know, just stone cold, just like no inhibitions whatsoever when it comes to deceit or lying or misleading. But again, Gavin wants to be president. So this is him trying to recover from, you know, the damage that he got after the.
Megyn mocked the photo op king showing up to disasters in $500 jeans, nodding at wreckage like his presence alone fixes it. Charlie drilled into the housing crisis more red tape than roofs. She called him the decorative candle of politics, melts under heat, leaves nothing but wax.
Does not listen, ever. Maybe, is this the tipping point for him? Did you get the feeling he really wants to change?
I don't know. I think he wants to be president, Sean, more than anything else on the planet. I think you can agree he has more political ambition than almost anybody in the Democrat Party. And I think he understands that the entire country is moving center-right and is accelerating at a rapid pace. In fact, we are course-correcting after 4 failed years under Joe Biden and all of the woke stuff and the anti-common sense movement. Gavin Newsom had me on his podcast, and I was shocked all of a sudden where he decided to diverge away from the orthodox opinion.
Charlie ripped into his fine print politics. Every big promise ends with more taxes, more rules, and worse results. Megyn torched his moral posturing while crime spikes and businesses board up. Newsom talks utopia while California burns literally.
Dignity. That's what I was missing. There was no dignity. It just looked like a man desperate for attention. And whenever DeSantis was scoring points on him, he would interrupt over and over to try to talk over the points as just a, you know, that's like a middle school debate tactic, which is pathetic and not.
I think he understands that the entire country is moving center-right and is accelerating at a rapid pace. In fact, we are course-correcting after 4 failed years under Joe Biden and all of the woke stuff and the anti-common sense movement. Gavin Newsom had me on his podcast, and I was shocked all of a sudden where he decided to diverge away from the orthodox opinion in the Democrat Party, which is as simple as saying that it's not fair that a biological man can compete in female.
Despite failure after failure, Newsom struts like he's America's next top president. Charlie and Megyn peeled away the glamour, exposing the hollow core. Failure is his trophy polished for the cameras. If hair gel were an Olympic sport, he'd be a gold medalist.
You guys retreat.
Yeah, you kind of like the
more
advice.
For us.
You like
I mean,
the advice.
there's no opposition. There's no activist spark. You guys are posting these cringe videos on social media.
What are the videos? What are the ones that
I don't
are
know,
most
this
cringy?
like harmonious thing of like 22 senators all saying the same
You
thing.
didn't like that, yeah.
I didn't like it. Go ahead. Go do more of that.
What do you do?
Please.
What do you do? Seriously, Charlie Kirk, give us some
Get
advice.
better ideas, Governor.
Housing crisis, a masterclass in killing the American dream. Rents rival Monaco while affordable housing plans never produce affordable homes.
Set, including a
Homelessness
reusable tote
now
bag,
a permanent landmark. Pandemic leadership rules for you fine dining for him.
In California is these mealy-mouthed, kale-eating, broccoli-pushing, Birkstock, whatever, wearing politicians who can't find another person fast enough to blame. My absolute favorite, though, is the fire chief. She's growing on me. When she's not focusing on her lesbianism, she's actually quite fierce.
While Californians were locked down, Newsom partied mask-free. Media spun it as nothing, but it exposed the plank of hypocrisy he balances on. His environmental speeches, grand plans with disastrous results, always sold as genius. And when challenged, he dodges smiles and pivots.
This repulsive Jew hate that we see sometimes on social media, I hate it, you hate it. But then if you and I want to call that person a Nazi, it doesn't mean anything. It has no currency. Because they're like, oh, racist. Am I a Nazi like Sydney Sweeney? And boom,
Yeah.
there's no zing. What they have done is they have created yet another subcategory. Racist means nothing anymore, and now Nazi means nothing anymore. When people call me a Nazi, and then they call me it's just, so they have diluted the potency of.
The exodus isn't a trickle, it's a stampede. Families, businesses, lifelong locals bailing for safer, cheaper states. Retail theft laws have stores shutting down. Streets feel less like rehabilitation and more like lawless zones.
So offensive. Oh yeah, when somebody comes over to the house, you clean up the house. Yes, because most of us don't live in a pigsty day to day. We have some small clutter to clean up. It's not a complete overhaul of where we choose to raise our children. That's what's needed in San Francisco. He doesn't give some. Now, he's a far left progressive, and Bill Maher just came out in favor of him. But he's the most radical Democrat in America. Honestly, his politics may be left of the squads.
And still he flirts with the presidency as if the rest of America wants a taste of California collapse. It's like watching a crash victim volunteer to teach drivers ED. Even friendly media struggles to spin his failures: economic decline, surging crime, failing schools, and a vanishing middle class.
Well, I've interviewed Gavin. I moderated, I think you brought it up, I moderated the debate with DeSantis. And I have tried to reason with this man, and he does not listen, ever. Maybe, is this a tipping point for him? Did you get the feeling he really wants to change?
I don't know. I think he wants to be president, Sean.
Newsom glides past accountability while Californians drown in the undertow. He's the captain of a luxury cruise insisting all is well as the ship tips 45 degrees. California deserves better. America deserves better. His legacy, not reform, but the speed with which it became a national punchline.